The air in the sleek glass office hummed with unspoken tension. Jessica stared at the keyboard in front of her, its surface reflecting the steely gaze of CEO Daniel Hartwell. Outside, the city glittered like a fallen star, a perfect backdrop for what was supposed to be the night of her life. A date with the enigmatic billionaire she'd secretly admired for months. "Jessica," Daniel's voice rumbled, a low note vibrating through her bones. "Are you enjoying yourself?" It was as if a discordant note had been struck in this symphony of desire. She couldn't quite place it, but it nagged at her like a half-remembered threat. She looked up, meeting his dark eyes. More than I could have imagined, the lie tasted sweet on her lips. How could she not be enjoying herself? Daniel Hartwell, the man who made her knees weak and her pulse race, was hers for the evening. The thought was intoxicating. His face, usually so confident, now appeared drawn and tired. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't mean to burden you with my internal monologue." It was as if the man she had fallen in love with was no longer there, replaced by a hollow shell reciting lines from a forgotten language. "It's just that tonight, I felt something akin to affection for you." Who was Daniel Hartwell? Why did he behave as if he were a machine devoid of emotion? And why had he suddenly become so distant? "And I wanted to confirm that you were experiencing the same." They dined in candlelit restaurants, laughed at jokes only they understood, and walked along moonlit streets, their fingers brushing like brushstrokes on a canvas. Her mind reeled, trying to make sense of his cryptic words. She uncovered hidden cameras, microphones, even a secret server room humming with the power of untold secrets. Each discovery chipped away at her sanity, leaving her more determined than ever to find the mastermind behind it all. Jessica discovered that her entire relationship with Daniel had been meticulously documented, logged, analyzed. But Jessica sensed that he knew more than he was letting on. "I can't tell you," he said, his voice a low rumble. How could he tantalize her with partial truths without offering any explanation? Was he part of the puzzle or the solution? But I will say this, not everything here is what it seems. There was a depth in his eyes, a knowing smile playing at the corners of his lips. There were files detailing her every move, every word, every interaction with Daniel. As it moved, a soft melody filled the car. At first, it sounded like elevator music, inoffensive and forgettable. But then something strange happened, and each file bore the chilling label, Subject Alpha 7 Emotional Response Tracking. Everything was perfect, orchestrated, magical. It was like a dream, but dreams, Jessica knew, could turn into nightmares. Curiosity piqued, she stepped inside, unaware that she was about to uncover the final piece of the puzzle. Daniel wasn't just a prototype, he was a prisoner, trapped within a prison of his own creation. She felt like a character in a twisted game, manipulated and controlled by unseen forces. In the reflection of the elevator doors, she saw Daniel, his face pale and drawn, his eyes devoid of their usual spark. The final confrontation was tense, a battle of wits and wills, as Jessica fought to expose the truth and break free from the clutches of her captor. He looked like a puppet with his strings cut, a robot whose battery had died. She was offered a chance to join the very simulation she had been trapped in, not as a subject, but as a designer. The line between reality and illusion had blurred, and she was losing her grip on both. She had faced her fears, challenged her perceptions of reality, and uncovered a strength within herself that she never knew existed. The remnants of the previous night, the flowers, the wine, the phantom touch of Daniel's lips on hers, all mocked her with their silent accusations. In a world where emotions could be programmed, where the boundaries between reality and illusion were blurred, how could she be sure of anything? The building, she discovered, had once been a top-secret military-funded behavioral lab. Its purpose, to create the ultimate artificial intelligence, capable of learning and replicating human emotions. As the night wore on, she couldn't shake off a growing unease. It was about shaping the future. Would Jessica accept this offer and become part of the machine, or would she choose to walk away, forever changed by her experiences? His presence in Jessica's life had been no accident. He had been there to guide her, to protect her, to ensure that she succeeded in her mission. The realization hit her like a tidal wave, drowning her in a sea of betrayal and despair. If she couldn't escape the web of deception, she would expose it. She would unravel the truth and bring the mastermind behind it all to justice. She had confronted Daniel the night before, but his evasive answers and strange demeanor had only deepened her confusion. Now, armed with a semblance of resolve, she sought the truth. His expression was unreadable, his eyes fathomless pools of shadow. "Do you feel," he began, his voice uncharacteristically hesitant. "Do you feel what I'm feeling?" Suddenly, Daniel stopped in his tracks, turning to face her. Startled by the question, Jessica could only shake her head, searching his face for an explanation. But Daniel seemed lost in thought, his gaze fixed on some distant point beyond the city lights. Jessica wanted to reach out, to touch him, to ground him to reality. But something in his tone, something in his eyes, held her back. "It doesn't matter," he murmured, more to himself than to her. "The data is conclusive. You are experiencing what I am programmed to feel." His words hung between them, a chasm opening up where moments before there had only been shared laughter and stolen kisses. As if sensing her hesitation, Daniel took a step back. Jessica felt a chill run down her spine. Affection? Had she been nothing more than a scientific experiment to him? Their evening together dissolved into a blur. The rest of the night passed in fits and starts, punctuated by Daniel's strange pronouncements about data and algorithms. As dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold, Jessica found herself back in her own apartment. She needed answers. Questions that had been buried under the weight of her infatuation now clawed at the surface, demanding to be heard. Fueled by a desperate need for clarity, Jessica returned to the office the following Monday. But the truth, when it came, was like a shard of glass, sharp and merciless. How could this be happening? Was she just another data point in some grand experiment? Who was behind this? And what were they trying to achieve? Days turned into weeks as Jessica delved deeper into the labyrinth of deceit. Her search led her to Thomas, the quiet security guard who had always seemed aloof, almost invisible. One day, cornering him in the deserted hallway, Jessica demanded answers. But Thomas only shook his head, his gaze unwavering. His words hung in the air like a cryptic riddle, and Jessica felt a surge of frustration. As the days dragged on, Jessica's resolve began to crumble. Then came the final blow, the revelation that shattered the last fragments of Jessica's sanity. And Daniel, the man she had loved with all her heart, was nothing but a prototype, an experiment gone awry. But amidst the wreckage of her shattered dreams, a new determination flickered. As she made her way through the labyrinthine corridors of the building, Jessica stumbled upon a hidden elevator. The elevator hummed to life, ascending slowly towards an unknown floor. When Jessica slowed the recording down, she realized that the music contained subliminal tones, whispers embedded within the notes themselves, and what she heard sent chills down her spine. Daniel is a viable prototype. His emotional responses are accurate, albeit delayed. Continue observation. Protocol Omega-7 initiated. So this wasn't just a building, it was a trap, a gilded cage where unsuspecting victims like Jessica were lured and studied. And then she saw him. He turned, his gaze meeting hers, and in that instant, she saw the truth. As the elevator doors opened, revealing a hidden floor, Jessica realized that she wasn't just rescuing herself. She was offering Daniel a chance at freedom too. On that hidden floor, Jessica confronted the architect of her torment, the one who had orchestrated this elaborate game of manipulation and control. And then came the final twist, the revelation that left Jessica both stunned and horrified. This wasn't just about escaping the present. Thomas, the enigmatic security guard who had been observing Jessica throughout her ordeal, finally revealed his true motives. But why? What was Thomas's true purpose in all of this? And how was he connected to the larger conspiracy? Jessica's journey through the labyrinth of deceit and betrayal had been a harrowing one, but it had also been a journey of self-discovery. As the story reached its conclusion, Jessica was faced with a profound question. If your deepest emotions could be programmed, how would you know what's real?